Dun, 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 dun. The Last Starfighter.
One of my favorites.
Just got the complete 3 set of the comics. I mean, we talked about the first one when it picked up.
Yeah.
Mile High. So completed the set, and you actually replaced one of them with a better quality.
Yeah, it was a good pickup.
Yeah. So anyway, based on, it was like promotional material for this movie. And then we watched the movie. Which, it's been a while for me.
It's been a while for me too, but
yeah, but a while, 5 years, 6 years, did you say?
Probably, but I've also I have a weird thing with movies I love.
15 years.
I have a weird
quote a movie that you haven't seen for like 15 years. That's tough.
I could do that.
It's tough though.
It's probably tougher, but for the amount I watched this,
I grew up watching. I mean, this is one of the movies I had growing up, so I watched it a bunch. But it's been fucking forever. I've revisited it every once in a while. I kind of know, like, still with 5 years off, maybe, like, and that was, I probably watched it once in the past 10, 15 years. But for sure, yeah. I'll revisit it every once in a while.
I also can recite 80% of that movie.
Like, if it was like Hook, like, there's movies that'll just
stick.
Fight Club for sure.
Yeah.
That one's a no-brainer.
But yeah, I can recite most of this movie.
Yeah. And you were. But I mean, not the whole thing. Thank God.
That's annoying, but there are parts that I didn't
really care. It isn't. Sometimes it's annoying when people do that. If I had never seen the movie, that's the worst
dick move. Yeah, I hate it.
That's usually the only time.
Or I hate it when I haven't seen the movie and people are like, "Oh, watch this." Be like, "Motherfucker, I am watching the movie."
Spoiler.
Yeah, like why do you? Yeah. Why would you say that? I am watching the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but pay more attention right now.
Yeah, but I mean, like, were you really watching it? Like, yes, I am. If I'm watching something, if someone makes me sit down and watch something, I'm watching that shit. I'm not like fucking.
Yeah. If I'm with somebody, watching something. If I'm by myself, super easy to get distracted.
Very much so.
Especially now. That's why I like going to a movie theater. I don't mind going by myself. I haven't done it for a while. Last summer I was all about it. Because it forces you. You can't look at your phone. You're in a dark space. I'm not getting up to do anything unless my bladder's about to explode or something like that. But
this was a great movie to start off with, though.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, I wasn't going for any kind of like patriotic theme. It's not really. I mean, it takes place partly in California, but not generally.
A lot of it in space.
Yeah, guys, cuts back to.
I mean, to be a starfighter.
It's a good place to be in space. There's a lot more stars to fight. Unless you're just in Hollywood. Then it's a completely different movie. That would be actually funny. The next Starfighter is just like some vigilante in Hollywood. And he's just like taking out, like there's this super weird fucking conspiracy Illuminati thing with all the actors. Somebody finds out he's playing the Last Starfighter. That video game, but then it's like, oh, you're gonna do this other thing. We still use the test because it proves something. It's like technically all your skills are there.
Well, you brought up something that I, in all the times watching, never really thought of.
I may not have. Like I've never. It's rare that I'll watch a movie, like especially with sentimental value, and like think of things to talk shit about.
Yeah.
But
we should have recorded commentary for most of these movies because we talked some fun
time.
shit. But you pointed out
there's other holidays coming up.
This video game is just sitting outside in California.
Yeah, it's a trailer park out on like a little cafeteria, like a little patio cafeteria, but just like wood slats just to kind of block the sun a little bit. But they're just little 1-inch 2x2s or whatever with 4-inch gaps. Just outside this cabinet video game. Yeah, I'd never thought of that before either, but like thinking of it now,
it bothered me because the rest of the movie. I was like, why is that game?
I think it's because now it's be like, well, there's potential. It would be a stupid thing to spend money on, but it's like you could get that. I mean, if it was an actual video, they probably made a video game at some point.
I'm sure there were weatherproof ones.
No. Everything.
Never?
First off, electronics were made of wood, and like remember the compressed wood? You turn something around, and it was just that wood panel.
Oh, was everything in there was made of composite wood?
That's what those things are made of.
Plywood, composite wood.
That's not something you want outside. Like a garage is okay, but just don't have the door open all the time.
You'd lacquer the shit out of it or something.
No, it would just get destroyed. Because the tops of those... Listen, man. I don't know why I know a lot about the design of video game cabinets, but the design is not set up for weatherproofing. It's horrible. But
well, it was designed by a fucking space alien.
So that one could have been. But the person that bought the machine and put it out there didn't know that. So they just happened to be lucky that the thing is super weatherproof. They got lucky that it's
fucking universal fucking... The dude that came in a... not just a flying car, a flying spaceship car.
A station wagon. It was a station wagon DeLorean. That's what it looked like. But made out of, like, cardboard.
Mostly.
I mean, it's... Those panels kind of...
I still love the scenes with the beta unit. Like, I thought those were fun, like when he takes his head off or...
Which that was another scene. It's like, what do you need to take your head off for?
Yeah, you can't see any better.
Your eyes are still in your head.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want to look at my torso.
He still turns his head, and then, like, to shake his head, he, like, turns, like, the nose and the top of the head.
Like, maybe if there was a mirror on the desk, and he was like, oh, well, I'll just set my head by the mirror on the desk. Pretty sure I didn't see a mirror,
I always loved his little brother, though, as a kid, watching that, Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's like, Alex, what the shit? You're just having a nightmare, Lewis.
Yeah.
Very bad
That's kind of like a typical... Like, there's a lot of those kind of characters, kid characters from the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
80s movies, just like snarky kind of asshole.
What the shit?
And it was it's usually the younger one picking up, which is... It's always, I mean, I never really thought of it, but kind of seems weird now.
And
because I would think that would be switched. Generally, the older sibling would.
I'd forgot that his last name was Rogan until like I thought of it for a second, but I just never thought of it. I probably haven't seen it since I've started watching the Joe Rogan podcast, right. So it would never have been like something that was like kind of like
5 years, 6. That's at least 5-6 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, I never put that together. That's kind of weird. Is Joe Rogan's cousin
Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I could see he's Joe's
more East Coast.
Well,
where Alex is California,
West
Rogan.
Coast, but I think he's like kind of just uncomfortable with public knowing that his brother or his cousin lives in a trailer park. Still, he has all this money. And motherfuckers playing a video game.
I heard Rogan actually mention The Last Starfighter before, in something.
Yeah, I mean, a few people have seen it.
Yeah.
It's a big movie. I'm sure. Maybe he thought stars. Maybe.
What do you think werewolves. Of the CG?
Well, I mean, some stuff was cool. Like the hologram thing was kind of. I mean, it's like. I'm trying to think of what was similar out around the same time, but it was, I mean, I don't know. The space scenes were like super basic, totally looked like just early fucking computers, like no textures to anything. Everything looks like if you ever see like just test footage for animators, like they'll have just the
when
super
everything's
basic
blocked out,
and then they'll like, okay, this is everything frames right. Okay, now we'll add all the detail to it because we don't want to have to do the detail and then change some fucking position of some shit. But it's like the whole movie. I mean, clearly it's trying to take some heat from like Star Wars and all that kind of shit. Video games, so probably Tron. You know, it seemed like it grabbed the station wagon DeLorean. Like, there was a lot of things where it's like, oh, this movie, even I don't know if it was, like, I don't know,
that was
timeline.
Before Back to the Future.
But still, it's like, it seemed like that.
Yeah.
It just, the whole movie kind of seemed like it was almost like a montage of, like, if they made it today.
80s.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I love the movie.
Blake,
so it's like, but it's...
Crank it up! You got it, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
The characters are like just over the top enough to make it, to make that part of it hold up. Like, okay, none of the effects hold up. I mean, the writing and the acting, not good, but it's corny in the best ways.
Oh, yeah.
To where, like, when you're a kid, you don't notice it. Like, everything's fucking amazing when you're a kid, especially when we were kids, when, like, there wasn't Jurassic Park and all the Jurassic Park did. Okay.
Your belief is suspended completely as a kid.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm in it.
Now it's
I get it.
Now it's like kids grow up with like this shit that looks almost real. So I can't even imagine. But then when you're older, this holds up as just being kind of like just the nostalgia part, but like a good B movie, you know?
Oh yeah.
You know? So fucking loved it.
Oh man, the Zandozans, the hitmen.
Yeah,
like
I always loved the fucking, the like hammerhead kind of design, and the
mouth is slightly above the eyes.
It's like right. It's like in line with the eyes, kind of
above.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
But what bothered me watching it this time was like, all right, the first drifter Zandozan gets there. All right.
Yeah.
He gets out from hitchhiking. He's at the trailer park. He walks up to the game, and then the game starts going and saying shit. And then all of a sudden he looks at it, and these light beams hit his face, and he starts going like this. It was right after he pulled out his space gun, so you kind of knew, oh, all right, this is a bad guy.
Yeah.
And then he puts his hands over his face, and then those things had like 10 fingers on each hand.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like it like tones back down, and he looks like the alien.
Yeah. I mean, that's
why, how, and why?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
Why would you, if you could have a human disguise?
Yeah.
Change back into your fucking alien hammerhead crab face form? Why would the video game have done that? When the video game was designed by Centauri, to just...
Listen, man, they were planning on prequels to answer all those questions, okay? And then sequels to just change shit so it doesn't matter anyway. I don't know, man. There's a lot of like things that were unnecessary. First off, at the end, their fucking prototype ship happens to have a third seat for his chick, who's like, they're not even fucking each other, but she's like, I'll leave the planet to go live with you
on a place that you really haven't checked out.
Yeah, he's like, he was there for like a half hour. They get attacked. He's like bounces, they get attacked.
Gets back, the giant celebration.
He's in the spaceship the whole time. This prototype has a spare seat and a spare spacesuit, hopefully.
Maybe she was just like sitting in his lap. I don't think they needed the spacesuits. Like,
they were just for show.
Those were like flight suits. Like, you don't have to have a flight suit.
Yeah, it's I don't know, but for sure no seat. They don't just build extra seats.
Lap and shit.
I know, but I'm just saying. Listen, like of all the things to like try and, it's like that one. Fuck it.
Wait, the whole trailer park comes to fucking watch him because the Otis, the older black gentleman, says, "Hey, everybody, Alex is going for the record."
Yeah. Oh my God! Everybody piles out of their trailers.
Grandmothers in their nightgowns and hair curlers.
My God! Yeah, and it's all apparently trailer parks are all just that's their senior center.
Yeah,
it's like Alex, Maggie, and then Alex's brother
and Lewis,
and then everybody else. I don't think lived there. They just
9,000 years old. They were the only 3 people, and their mom.
Mom would be the 4th youngest person in the fucking whole, and they loved fucking watching Alex.
Oh my God! It's the mothership.
Break the record. Yeah.
And he breaks the record.
On the patio.
Oh, I loved when his mom came back from wherever she was, and he's like, "What's up, Mom?" And she's like, she's all bummed because she got it. She had the mailman illegally deliver his mail to her, not at their address, and then she opened it.
The mailman knew you were excited to get this, so he didn't give it to you. He legally took it to me, and then I proceeded to illegally open your mail. And
you didn't get the loan.
Yeah.
But before that, he's like,
the thing's
"Hey, Mom,
really small, so it's probably
I beat the record." And she's like, "Oh, that's nice." The legitimate perfect reaction that any normal person would have.
Yeah, that's probably the best. That was probably the best acting
Mom, I beat the record.
That's why she's probably
You're
had more.
You're fucking 18.
They cut her
Chill
out.
out.
Yeah. Like, and video games aren't even like now. You can make money doing video games.
No
video
one gives
games
a
are a
fuck.
thing now.
That
was back before fucking like.
You're literally the only kid in the trailer park. That video game is only for you.
It's true. That's something I didn't think about. It's him and his brother. I mean, maybe like their friends come over, but they're not playing it all the time.
No.
The only one being able to put in those kind of hours playing a video game that they probably don't pay for because
he's probably got the key.
You know, and then so of course he's got the most training. It's like, get the fuck out of here. But then the prototype thing, you know, that worked out fine. That was basically flight simulation. That's how basic it is to fly their
Here's what
spaceships.
I'll say though: the video game, still to this day looks like that was a real video game, it would be fun to play.
I'm sure there's games
because it had
similar.
the framework graphics, which that made it look a little old school, but like the heads-up display and everything. I don't know. I just like the way it flowed. That was the best use of, I think, actual effects.
It's kind of like first-person space shooter.
Yeah, like you're in the actual cockpit.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm sure there's fucking games out there.
I don't want to play them. I just thought
probably
that
a VR one being made. They're like, hey, if it's not, somebody do that.
And I like the way the controls looked on the game.
Yeah.
And
I always loved, that was one thing when like I had PlayStations, Xboxes or whatever. I always, because I love the racing games.
Yeah.
I always wanted to just buy a sweet fucking,
the steering wheel
with
console
steering wheel
and the shifter
shift,
and the pedals. Yeah,
everything.
my buddy had that.
Yeah, like I wanted to just, I mean, I never had the money back when I was into video games to spend it, so I never got it, but fucking love those like Forza.
My buddy
and,
had that, and we just put it like on a little dinner tray.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have had it on the coffee table.
And then it was like
on the couch or whatever. I don't know. I probably would have just got a chair for it. I mean, if you're spending, it's probably like
I think that
few
thing was
$100s.
a couple $100. But I mean, back then the consoles were that. Yeah.
Like there was like I would have wanted to get like the one with the Force fucking like just the highest end shit.
Yeah.
To where like even the pedals like
gave you feedback.
That would be amazing.
His buddy, his co-pilot, navigator, Greg.
Dickhead.
He looks like a petrified brown dick.
Yeah.
I didn't really notice that as much as a kid.
Yeah.
But he really does look like a dickhead.
It's kind of disappointing. It's kind of disappointing.
Good face makeup?
Yeah, no. I remember all the good parts of it when I was a kid. Never thought of like, oh, that's the head of a dick.
Yeah.
Probably
and even on
I'd
the
only
comic, the very first one, right after we watched that, as I went to the bathroom, I just like stopped and looked. I'm like, yeah, why didn't I notice that? That's a.
It's probably even more.
Oh, it's very
noticeable
much more noticeable in the comic. He is.
Maggie is way like kind of pinup girl kind of posed. In the
she looks pretty sexy in the comic cover. But I mean, she is sexy in the show.
Actual, not really. Not compared to inside the. I flipped through the.
I think she's cute. Like that's like one of my types. Like
for sure. In the book, she's more of like a blonde, like kind of cheerleader kind of. That's like poses, like how she's drawn and stuff like that, and kind of.
Oh, it's like
more
with,
ditzy.
One leg cocked.
Yeah. Or just like legs and then bent the butt, and then boobs. All arched. Anyway, that's what I'm doing right there. So it's almost like a fucking if somebody with really special needs loved Bush or Trump, or Hitler. I don't know. Any of those.
All three. What do you give this movie out of 10?
Here's the thing. Like this is one of the if this comes up when we're doing the Ultimate Movie Championship later. Like this one's one of those where you're basing it on like a completely different standard of criteria.
But that's how everyone judges everything.
I mean, it depends on how I'm gauging. I mean, it's like for me, if on my list, it's for sure.
It's not the best shot, the best acted,
if it's
but
on,
nostalgia factor
if it's on my
alone.
list, like where I might put it on my list. Man, I mean, maybe I don't know if it could go top 10. But it'd be close, maybe top 15, top 20. but it's up there. I mean, it's a battle for, like, I don't really know.
I'd
but
say it's in
there.
my top 25.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. It's like,
because once you get into,
once I start doing a list, it's
but
like, I've seen a fucking
what out of 10? Just based on whatever you like.
So 10 best, 1 the worst. I mean, I give it a strong 7.
I give it a 7.5. That's what I was thinking.
Strong 7.
I give it a 7.5. So
our
review of a movie that we watched a shitload and have a lot of nostalgia factor for.
It wouldn't have taken. I mean, it would have taken a few things, and it could have been a 10. Like just the story and everything, and I mean, I guess there's some plot holes, but yeah, for sure, it's a strong 7 for,
Last Starfighter.